Good morning. It's the Danny Hill Experience. We got Campbell Witten in the studio.
Morning.
I have a question for you. I want to talk about turning yourself in.
You're like, yeah, I've got this friend.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
You should turn yourself. I mean, turning yourself in. If it's the right thing, it's the right thing. But you should definitely talk to a lawyer first. I mean, it sounds kind of like a broken record, but it's hugely important. You're trusting that everything you say is going to be accurately recorded, that it's not going to, be used in a way
out of context.
that can be taken out of context. The way people hear things, sometimes things can get twisted. It's going to be what you meant to say was said, and it's hugely important.
Right. And a lot of times what happens is these cops won't have enough to arrest you. So they want you to come down to the station and make a statement without your lawyer being there, and then they want to get you to admit to something. And so a lot of times they'll say, oh, you need to turn yourself in. I'll just arrest you. I've got probable cause. I'm going to arrest you. It's like, go ahead. If there's a warrant, I'll turn myself in. We deal with this pretty often, actually.
Police, they can get pretty aggressive with their interrogation tactics. They're allowed to lie. They'll say, look, we have you on video. Oh, your friend just told us that you were everything you did. And people will be like, well, I don't know. I guess if it's on video, maybe that's better than my memory. And they can actually sort of coerce people into admitting to things they didn't even do.
Whether there's a warrant for you, or you hear a rumor that you have a warrant, you need to call an attorney to find out if there's a warrant. We do that for people all the time, actually. People will call in, hey, I think there's a warrant for me. We'll go check it out, see if there is one. If there is a warrant,
okay. So you guys,
there are ways of handling the situation at that point that can really minimize the damage, minimize the financial cost to you, even if years have gone by.
Sometimes if you're out of county, we've had people like out on the coast, they get picked up on a warrant here in Kern County. We'll spend like 3 weeks in jail while they kind of sort the whole thing out and figure.
Oh wow, because they don't know.
They don't know what's going on. You got a warrant,
right? And then a lot of people they'll be having a background check done for their job or something like that, and then it turns up that there's a warrant, and they're going to miss a security clearance or something to work at a military base, or they, for whatever reason, the employer's looking into their past. They see this old warrant. This happens all the time. We also have them where somebody has a family law case, and they're going to court, and the attorney that represents their ex finds out that they have a warrant, and they're like waiting to ambush them at court. You show up, you go in there to argue your case because you're talking about custody of your kids, and next thing you know, the bailiff is arresting you in court, and that looks really bad. When the judge is deciding when you should have your kid.
So if you have a warrant and you either A, don't know about it, or B, are not doing anything about it, the chances of that coming up at a good time,
exactly.
It's probably
not good.
But when it comes
good,
much better to kind of get proactive. And just because you have a warrant, sometimes people have a misunderstanding about this. A lot of times, the DA won't file a case right away. You may appear at your first court date, and they haven't filed the case yet. Once they file a case, a warrant's issued. Doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. Doesn't mean you've missed any court appearances. They simply issue a warrant, and you have to show up in court, and they recall the warrant, and they'll set you court dates. So it doesn't always mean that you're like on the run from justice when you have a warrant out for you, but it's very important to find out if you have any warrants, and you can call us, we can check, and then we can take care of you.
And that's one of the things we do for clients a lot, is people will call in, they'll say, hey, the charges haven't been filed yet, but can you kind of keep a lookout for us? And so then they can kind of go on with their lives, and we can be checking up on it and making sure that if and when the case is filed and the warrant gets issued, we can be on top of it right away.
Immediately.
So that they're not driving down the road, a few days later, get pulled over for speeding, and then get taken to jail on this outstanding warrant.
And we'll talk to, even sometimes I've talked to investigating officers and said, hey, look, if there's going to be a warrant, let us know. We don't want the police showing up at someone's house and arresting them in front of their kids and their neighbors and a big old thing. Like, there's no need for that. And so we'll communicate even sometimes with the police.
Say,
hey, look, you know what?
Do you find that they work with you easier when you're up front with them like that, because they know that the person's obviously willing to deal with the situation and not going anywhere, or is it?
And if they know the person's going to turn themselves in and deal with it, why waste the time and effort to go and arrest them?
I've actually had them tell me before, well, look, if he turns himself in the next 48 hours, great. After that, I'm unleashing the hounds.
So that makes sense. Well, again, if you need him for anything, Campbell Witten, Sam, Clayton, Jesse, the number 334-3000. That's 334-3000. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.